Discussing the SEM 4, and the topic today what we are discussing is administrative history of Telangana, and we will try to complete the Chief Minister also. Two topics, but first we will talk about the administrative history of Telangana from the module 1. In this, today, now we all know that. Am I audible? Yeah. So when we talk about the administrative history of Telangana, in this, we all know that before Telangana, before the formation of Telangana, we were we all know that previous to formation of the Telangana, we were in the state of Andhra Pradesh, and before the formation of Andhra Pradesh, we were in Madras, that is in Tamil Nadu. The Telugu speaking people were in some parts of the Tamil Nadu. The Madras, it was called as a Madras Presidency, and which was formed and later it was formed as a Andhra state on October 1st, 1953. And this struggle we can give to waged from the, we all know that Potti Sriramulu was a person who has fought for a separate statehood for the Telugu speaking people. Before this, we were all, the Telugu speaking people were in the Tamil Nadu or in the Madras. So after this fight of Potti Sriramulu, where for the formation of a new state for Telugu speaking people, later on this was in 1953, and later on this was the new state of Andhra Pradesh was formed in the year 1956, November 1st. First, we were the Potti Sriramulu has fought. Before that, we were in the Telugu speaking people were in the Madras Presidency, and this was formed as an Andhra state on October 1st, 1953. And due to the struggle of the wage Potti Sriramulu, the Telangana region was merged in Andhra Pradesh, and a new state of Andhra Pradesh was formed on the November 1st, 1956. Based after later on, based on the recommendations of the State Reorganization Commission, and then we all know that the 2004 struggle from the TRS party, KCR, and all the students of all the universities, lawyers have fought for the new separate state for Telangana region. Then after the huge struggle, we got a new state, 29th state as a Telangana state in the year 2014, June 2nd. When we were talking about all this, first we have to talk about the administration, the way back we have to go into the history. So when we talk about the history of the Telangana, we have to talk about the Satavahana period. But before starting the history, I would like to talk about a few important points on the Telangana, the word Telangana. Now, the word Telangana was derived from the word Trilinga. Trilinga means three, and these three are, the term Trilinga came from the Kaleshwaram, Srisailam, and Draksharama. These are the three important Shiva temples. From these three Shiva temples only, we have got the name Trilinga, and from that name Trilinga only, the name Telangana was formed. So now when we talk about the historical evidence, when we talk about the historical evidence of the state of Telangana, first we have to talk about the rulers who have ruled this region of Telangana. In this list, first we will talk about the Shatavahanas. From the Shatavahanas, the Shatavahana period was from 221 BC, 221 BC to 218 AD. And the Satavahana Empire was one of the largest empires that ruled India in the ancient periods. And the founder of the Shatavahana dynasty, the founder of the Shatavahana dynasty was Simukha, 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 and they originated from the Andhra region. And this region had three important rivers, that is the Krishna, Godavari, and it was the delta of Krishna, Godavari rivers and east coast, and later on it moved on westwards to the Godavari region. So the Simukha is the first king of the Shatavahana dynasty, and the earliest king of the Satavahana dynasty was a Satakarni I, and he was known for his policy of military expansion, and captured north of Narmada and Malwa. So when we talk about the history of Telangana, we have to talk about the Satavahanas. Satavahanas were the first and foremost important dynasties which have ruled the Telangana region, we can say. So now later on, in this Shatavahana period, what was the administration all about? Now administration means who were involved in the decision-making process, who were involved in the policy making, who has framed rules and regulations, who have come out with the, now in this regard, in the administration part, the king played a very, very important role. And he was the kingmaker, means he was a person who would have framed rules and regulations, and he had given the directives or the Dharma Shastras, we can say. Later on, the king was assisted by the Council of Ministers. Then in the Council of Ministers, there were Amatya or the minister. Then the king was being supported by the Amatya, minister, Senapati, the military head, and the other Council of Ministers. This was and later on, in this regard, we can talk about the local administration also. That is, now what do we understand by the term local administration? Local administration is at government at the grassroots level. Grassroots level means, now when we talk about this grassroots level, we have the grassroots level is the Gram Sabhas in the rural areas. And now presently we talk about the rural areas as Gram Sabhas and municipalities as urban areas in the urban areas. But at that Satavahana period, the local administration or the local governments were the Gram Sabhas were very, very important. So now the Satavahana period, the very important things to be remembered in this chapter are the dynasty name, the period of when they were serving as the dynasty was there, and what was the administration all about. Then after the Satavahana dynasty, after the fall of the Satavahana dynasty, the Chalukya dynasty took over. The Chalukya dynasty took over, and the Chalukya dynasty was established by Pulakesi. Pulakesi won in a year in 543, and the Chalukya dynasty was from in between the years 6th BC to 12th AD. And the Chalukya dynasty was an Indian royal dynasty that ruled parts of southern and the central India between the 6th and 8th AD. We can say that it might be around 10th to 12th centuries, the 10th to 12th centuries. And the Chalukyas were very prominent in their administration, and they enjoyed, they had the Chalukyan architecture. The Chalukyan architecture was more familiar, and it was given more of importance. And one more important point to be remembered in this is the Chalukya dynasty had a more of Kannada literature. The Kannada literature was more prominent in the Chalukya dynasty. Then coming to the administration, the Chalukya dynasty consisted of the administration of the empire. Then in that administration of the empire, the king was there, the council of ministers, local administration, the military administration, and judicial system. Now, local administration, we all know that it might be the Gram Panchayats or the Gram Sabhas. Then the judicial system was the decision making. The decision making was vested with the king only. Means the king was the decision maker, and everybody has to listen to the king only. Then after the Chalukya dynasty, it was the third dynasty which ruled the Telangana region was the Kakatiya dynasty. We all know the Kakatiyas. The Kakatiya dynasty was between the period of this Kakatiya dynasty was between 1100 to 1474 AD. And the Kakatiyas, a known power which ruled Telangana region from the 10th century AD to the first quarter of 14th century AD. And it has given that there is a very much prominent things have happened in this Kakatiya dynasty, because before, if you see the Chalukya dynasty and the Shatavahana dynasty, there was not much of Telugu speaking people. There was more of Kannada literature, Kannada speaking people. But when the Kakatiya dynasty took over, it was the Telugu speaking people. The Kakatiyas have brought glory to the Telugu speaking people, we can say. And they have identified, it was the Kakatiya dynasty which had recognized the Telugu speaking people, and which had brought all the Telugu speaking people onto one platform. And the king to be remembered in the Kakatiya dynasty was the Rudradeva. The Kakatiya ruler was Rudradeva, and he fought against the Chalukyas, and he has declared the Kakatiyas as a ruler, as an independence in 1158 AD, and laid foundation for the sovereign rule of the Kakatiyas. And the Rudradeva has ruled from 1158 AD to 1195 AD, and he was the successor, and he was the son of the successor Prahlad II. The Prahlad II son was Rudradeva. You have to just understand, and you have to just remember the dynasty name the period, and the rulers who were involved in this dynasty and who has conquered or who has been the successors of this dynasty. So now in this Kakatiya dynasty, the Rudradeva, then we had later on it was Ganapati Deva who has ruled the Kakatiyas from 1199 to 1262. And he was a person who has united the entire Telugu speaking people under his umbrella, and he has made Hanmakonda or to Warangal. He made Hanmakonda to Warangal as the capital of Kakatiya dynasty. That's why when we go to Warangal, we see the big pictures of this Kakatiya dynasty and the rulers of this Kakatiya dynasty. And later on, the Ganapati Deva's daughter, Ganapati Deva did not have sons. He had only one daughter, and her name was Rudramadevi. And Rudramadevi, because she was the only daughter of Ganapati Deva, she had succeeded the throne of Ganapati Deva. So the Ganapati Deva, now who was Ganapati Deva? Ganapati Deva was a brother of Rudradeva. Why did Ganapati Deva took over the throne? Because Rudradeva did not have children. So Ganapati Deva took over the throne and he did not have sons. So his daughter Rudramadevi took over the throne and she fought. If you talk about the history, she was a person who has fought with the Britishers, who has fought with, and she has brought glory to the Kakatiyas also. Then after the Kakatiyas, there was much of the after the fall of the Kakatiyas, the Bahmani rulers have ruled the Telangana region. The Bahmani rulers period was from 1347 to 1518. The Bahmani Sultanate was founded on 3rd August 1347 by the Turkish governor Alauddin Hussein Bahman Shah. Bahmani Sultanate is not a Telugu Sultanate or an Indian one. It was a Turkish ruler who has come into India and he has defeated the Kakatiyas and he has captured the Telangana region and he ruled for the Telangana region. And after who revolted, and it was this Bahmani Sultanate was the person who has revolted against the Delhi Sultan. It was, he has revolted against the Delhi Sultan. Now at that time period, the Delhi Sultan was Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the Delhi Sultan and the Bahmani Sultanate was assisting the Delhi Sultan, and who has revolted against the Delhi Sultan and has conquered the Kakatiya dynasty. The Bahmani rulers also ruled much of the Telangana region and from Gulbarga to Bidar region. That is, the whole of the southern was being ruled by the Bahmani rulers. And it also had, in all the administrations of these dynasties, the common points were the king was given the ultimate power, ultimate authority to rule the kingdom. The decision making was vested on the king only, and everything, the laws were being framed by the king only, everything was being, and the Council of Ministers, the military administration, everybody has assisted the kings only in giving out good administration, we can say. Then after the Bahmani Sultanate, it was the rule of the Qutub Shahis. The Qutub Shahis have ruled from 1518 to 1687. 1518 to 1687. Now, the Qutub Shahi dynasty played an important role in the evolution of administrative system of Telangana. Why? Because the disintegration of the Bahmani kingdom led to the beginning of the Qutub Shahi rule of Golconda. Now, we all know in Hyderabad we have Golconda, which was built by the Qutub Shahis. And who was the founder of this Qutub Shahi dynasty? Sultan Quli was the founder of this Qutub Shahi dynasty, and he developed, Sultan Quli was the person who has developed the Deccan, and he has introduced the Deccani culture apart from promoting the economic prosperity. He was Sultan Quli, the Qutub Shahi dynasty, has given more of prosperity to the Telangana region because as we all talk about the Kakatiyas, but the Kakatiyas have confined to the Warangal region only. But the Qutub Shahis, when they had defeated the Bahmani rule and when they entered this Deccan plateau, they have evolved an administrative system and they have given more of importance to the Deccan plateau. And here the rise of the Qutub Shahis turned Golconda into a new dynastic center. And he was a high-ranking military. Now, who was this Quli Qutub Shah? Who was this person? He was a high-ranking military officer under the Muhammad Shah Bahmani. Means Qutub Shah was a high-ranking military officer in the Bahmani kingdom. When the Bahmanis were ruling the Telangana region, this person was the military head in that. He revolted back and he became successful and impressing the revolt, and he formed a Telangana region, a Deccan region as the Qutub Shahi dynasty by suppressing the Bahmani rule, and Muhammad Shah confirmed him as a Qutub ul Mulk. The points to be remembered in this topic are the names of the persons, the dynasty name, and the period. These are the three important points to be remembered when you are writing this answer in the exam. Now, this Qutub ul Mulk was appointed as a Subedar of the Telangana, which included Warangal, Golconda, and Kondagal. Because of his martial and literary talents, he was addressed as a master of sword and pen. Master of sword and pen. What does that we understand by this? He is excellent in using the sword also, and he is also excellent in using the pen also. So he was considered as a Subedar, and he was being appointed as a Subedar of the Telangana, which included Warangal, Golconda, and Kondagal. And the Golconda Fort, what we are seeing, was given as a Jagir to Sultan. Means this Qutb ul Mulk has given the Golconda as a Jagir. Now, what do you mean by a Jagir? Jagir is a place where you have the authority. You have your importance on it. That is known as a Jagir. And he has given this Jagir to the Sultan of the Delhi, the Sultan we can say. And the Qutb Shahi dynasty had many rulers because the period was much and there were 8 kings in the Qutb Shahi dynasty. To name a few, the first one in the Qutb Shahi dynasty was Quli Qutb ul Mulk. Quli Qutb ul Mulk was the first person in the Qutb Shahi dynasty, and the period of his, we can say, rule was 1518 to 1543. Then later on, 7 others have ruled the Qutb Shahi dynasty. Then there was much being given to the Qutb Shahis have given much to the Deccan Plateau, and they have developed the city, the Deccan Plateau, as a prosperous place, as in both in social development as well as in the economic development. So we can say that the Golconda is, we all know till today also, Golconda is the pride of Hyderabad. As we all know, the Charminar is also a pride. Golconda is also a pride for Hyderabad. Now coming to the administrative part, the king was also known as the Sultan, and he was a monarch, that is, and he followed Islamic principles. And the political and administrative system of Qutb Shahi rulers was based on the Islamic principles, and whereby we can say sovereignty rested on God. Means the Islamic principles suggest that everything should be vested on God only. So the Qutb Shahis have given importance to the God in their following the principles. Then we had the provincial administration, legal administration, and the military administration also. In all the administrations, if you talk from the Shatavahana dynasty, then the Chalukya dynasty, then the Kakatiya dynasty, then the Bahmani rulers, from all the dynasties, the administration is same likewise. That is, the king is the monarch. He is being assisted by the council of ministers. Then he is being given more of importance to the principles, we can say. Then after the Qutb Shahis, Sultan, they have given. Now, another important point to be remembered in this Qutb Shahi dynasty is the Qutb Shahis extended their patronage to Telugu, Urdu, Persian, and Arabic languages. That is, they have given, the Qutb Shahis have given more importance to these 4 languages. Then after the Qutb Shahis, it was the Asaf Jahi rule. The Asaf Jahis are also known as the Nizam's rule. The establishment of Asaf Jahi rule in Hyderabad was from the period from 1724 to 1950. From 1754 to 1950 means 1950, way back, only last 100 years we can, it is not also 100 years, only 70 or 70 years way back. So till 1950, the Nizams ruled the Telangana, more importantly, the Hyderabad region. The Hyderabad was being ruled by the Nizams. So the Nizams were called as the Asif Jahi rule. The Asif Jahi's rule at Hyderabad was a great landmark in the history of the medieval Deccan. And after the fall of the Golconda in the 1687, after the fall of the Golconda in the 1687 AD, Hyderabad became a provincial headquarters of the Subedars or subordinate officers. And under the leadership of the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. Means the Aurangzeb became, at that moment of time, Aurangzeb was the Mughal Emperor, and the founder of the Asif Jahi dynasty was Mir Kamruddin Khan. He is also known as Asif Jah I, and he ruled this region of Hyderabad from 1724 to 1748. And who was this Kamruddin Khan? Kamruddin Khan was the grandson of Chin Khilji Khan. And who was this Chin Khilji Khan? Chin Khilji Khan was the commander in the Aurangzeb army. So when you understand the scenario, the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, he was the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, and he conquered most of the southern region, and he was a person who was a person behind the fall of the Qutub Shahi dynasty. The Qutub Shahi dynasty, and this Qutub Shahi dynasty, when the Qutub Shahi dynasty came down, the Aurangzeb has made the Mir Kamruddin Khan, and he was the brave commander under the Aurangzeb, and he was a brave commander who lost his life during the battle of Golconda. Now, the Asif Jahi rulers, if you talk, the Asif Jahi Nizams are generally counted as 7, though they were 10, because 3 of them, they did not rule for much period. Hence, only 7 of them are being considered as the Nizam's important rulers. Now, the last Nizam of the Nizam's rule was, as we all know, the Mir Usman Ali Khan. Mir Usman Ali Khan was the 7th Nizam of the princely state of Hyderabad, and he ruled. And now, presently, what all we are seeing in Hyderabad, the Usmania University, Usmania General Hospital, all these prominent places were being established by the last Nizam of Hyderabad. Hence, he was a very prominent and very knowledgeable person who has adopted successful strategies which were implemented for the welfare of the people of the Hyderabad and also the nearby districts. Now, if you talk about the position of the king or the ruler, the Nizams had no throne, no crown, and no symbol of sovereignty. Okay, means there was nothing which was shown that this is a Nizam's rule. Until 1858, coins were minted with the emperor's name only. That is, the emperor was, at that time, the emperor was Aurangzeb. And it was in the name of the Mughal ruler and not the Nizam. So we can say that how well defined the Nizams were. And we all know that the administration of the Nizams was well established, well protective, well administered, because there was much to be taken away from the Nizam's rule. Then we have the revenue administration in the Nizam's rule. We have military administration, revenue administration, and administration of justice, religion tolerance. Now, what is religion tolerance? In religious sphere, Nizam from the beginning laid the foundation for a secular society. Now, what do we understand by the term secular society? Secular society means giving importance and respect to each and every religion without offending any religion, without offending any feelings of the other religions. That is known as religious tolerance. So the Nizams or the Asif Jahis had given more of importance to the religious tolerance, we can say. Then later on, after the independence, this was the last rule in the history of Telangana, or we can say the way back. Then after the end of the Nizam's rule, how did this happen? After the independence in 1947, in the 1947, the Nizam's rule was continuing, but as a separate state of Hyderabad. So when after independence, the whole country came together as one state, and only Hyderabad was being kept as an independent state by the Nizams. So this was not a clear, good indication. So after independence, Prime Minister Nehru and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, these were the two persons who had consultations, meetings with the Nizam, the last Nizam, Mir Usman Ali Khan, and then they requested him to merge the Hyderabad state into the country. Then later on, the Hyderabad state was formally included in the country of India. Then, and it became Union of India, or we can say it was fully merged in India. Then later on, we all know after that what has happened. Later on, as I told you in the introduction, that the Telugu speaking people were working as the Madras Presidency. Then in the year 1953, later on in the year 1956, all the Telugu speaking people came together, and as Telangana region was merged in Andhra, and it was formed as a united Andhra Pradesh. But later on, in the year 2001 and 2, there were previously also there were many fights, or we can say there were about a separate statehood for Telangana. But successfully, it was KCR who has strived hard to get a new state of Telangana. And in the year 2014, on June 2nd, the new state of Telangana was formed. So this is all about the administrative history of Telangana. Now, to next topic today we'll be discussing is about the Chief Minister. Yesterday's class we have discussed about the Governor, Now we will talk about the Chief Minister. Chief Minister is the most important prominent person in the state, and the Chief Minister's place is a very, very prominent place, has a very prominent place in the state. So, and the Chief Minister is the head of the government. The Chief Minister is the head of the government, and he is the real executive. Yesterday in class, I told you what is the difference between the nominal executive and real executive. Real executive means the decision-making power will be vested with them only. That is no real executive. Nominal is for the namesake, with for the hand and seal. So we can see that, and the Chief Minister is the public representative, whereby the public have given him the responsibility and authority to rule them. So the Chief Minister has much place in the administration. Now coming to the appointment of the Chief Minister. The Chief Minister is being appointed by the Governor. The Chief Minister is appointed by the Governor, and through, as we all know, that the Chief Minister is being elected by the, as an MLA. The thing here you have to remember is, first of all, a member, when he is contesting, he will become sorry, he will become the member of Legislative Assembly. Then later on, after becoming member of Legislative Assembly, then unanimously all the MLAs of the majority party will elect the Prime Minister, the Chief Minister's candidate, and that Chief Minister's candidate will go to the Governor and submit a memorandum stating that they want to form the government. And after the submission, then the Governor will invite that person to form the government, and the appointment means in the name of the Governor only, everything, the pledges taken, and he will be assisting them the oath of office. Hence, it is the appointment. So the Chief Minister and the Council of Ministers are administered oath of office by the Governor only. Then coming to the tenure. Tenure is the Chief Minister holds office during the pleasure of the Governor, and he has the Governor, the Chief Minister can be in power for 5 years or in the pleasure of the Governor. In the pleasure of the Governor means if the Governor sees that the Chief Minister is unable to perform well, then the discretionary power of the Governor is used, and the Chief Minister will be removed and a new person can be appointed. As this all will be done within the party only. So this is all about the Chief Minister's appointment and tenure. Now coming to the powers and functions of the Chief Minister. First and foremost one is formation of the Council of Ministers. The Chief Minister has the power of forming the ministry of his choice. Means the Chief Minister has a power to select candidates who have been elected by the people. That is, the people who are being elected as MLAs can be selected for Council of Ministership for the Legislative Assembly. And he can also appoint any member or even a non-member as a minister and allocate a portfolio. So the chief minister has the authority to allocate the portfolios, and also he has the authority to give power to the person who did not contest the elections. Now you might get a doubt, how can a person who did not contest the elections only and can become the minister? Yes, there is a provision in the constitution which states that if the person is not contesting the elections and if the chief minister wants to give him a position, a portfolio, then he can be made minister. But within 6 months of time, he should be elected to the member of legislative assembly. Means if there is any elections, then he can be elected in that election within the 6 month span, and that can be from that person can be member of legislative assembly, or can be member of the legislative council also. So the first and foremost function of the chief minister is formation of the council of ministers. Then the second important one is distribution and change of portfolios among the ministers. That is, if the chief minister thinks that he is unable to give good portfolios, or if he sees that the portfolio which has been given to that person is not worthy, or if he may not be able to do justice to the department, then it is up to the chief minister to change the portfolio and give the other portfolios to everyone. Then the third one is function. He is the chairman of the Council of Ministers. He is the chairman of the Council of Ministers, means he is the head of that Council of Ministers, means whatever communications which have to be delivered has to be delivered through a proper channel, that is the chief minister. The chief minister will be the connecting channel between the ministers and the ministers, the minister and the governor, and also the government and the people. So he also acts as the chairman of the Council of Ministers. Then the fourth important point is he is the chief minister, is the main link between the governor and the Council of Ministers. As we have discussed previously only, that the chief minister will act as a connecting link between the governor and the Council of Ministers. That is, the Council of Ministers, or the ministers from his party or from his government, cannot go and meet the governor directly. There should be a protocol followed, and the minister should inform the chief minister that he wants to meet the governor. Then prior permission from the chief minister, then only we can say the person, the Council of Ministers, can go and meet the governor. But in many cases, the chief minister will only meet the governor. As the governor is the constitutional head, he has the authority to know what is happening in the government. So it is a responsibility of the chief minister to go and explain the scenarios to the governor from time to time. Then the next one is he is a role as a chief coordinator. He has a very important role as a chief coordinator. Now, what do you understand by the term chief coordinator? Chief coordinator means he will resolve the conflicts or deadlocks between one or more departments or many departments. Means if there is any clash or any misunderstanding between the departments or the ministers, then he is the person who will solve all the resolutions. That hence he is called as an chief coordinator. Then the next point here is he works as a role as a leader of the state legislative assembly. Why? Because it is the responsibility of the chief minister, because as he is mostly, he will be the chief minister, will be the party head. So the chief minister will be the head of the state legislative assembly, because he will be held responsible for all the proceedings in the state legislative assembly. And whatever decisions which are being taken in the assembly are vested upon the chief minister. Means the chief minister has to take care of all the responsibilities which are being taken up in the assembly. Then the next one is he is the leader of the party. As I said, the chief minister will be mostly the chief minister will be the party president only. Now, if you take the Telangana region, the party president is the KCR or K. Chandrasekhar Rao, and he is only the chief minister of the Telangana state. Then the next point is here the chief minister will be the main spokesperson to government. That is, the chief minister will be the main spokesperson. Means whatever decisions, if you have seen, the chief minister calls on press meetings, and he is the person who comes out with the explanations what all the decisions the government has taken. So it is a prime responsibility of the chief minister to take care of all the situations. Then he is the chief minister is the link between the center and the state. Now, what does that mean? It means that the chief minister, what all developments which take place have to be reported to the prime minister at the central level. So now if you see news also, every now and then we read in the news that the chief minister has gone to Delhi to meet the prime minister to talk about the developments in the Telangana region. That is, it is the responsibility of the chief minister to give all the necessary information to the prime minister, because as we all know, the prime minister is head of the country, is the administrative head or the head of the government. So he has to have all the information about each state. So it is the chief minister acts as a link between center and a state. Then the chief minister also has appointment making power. That is, all the appointments other than the appointments which are made by the governor, all the appointments, that is transfers of the bureaucrats, IAS officers, postings of the IAS officers, all the department heads, the secretaries, all the appointments are being done in the name of the chief minister. That is, the chief minister takes all the decisions, we can say. Then he is another important point here is he power to dissolve the state legislature. Power to dissolve the state legislature is we all know in the yesterday's class we have discussed that the governor has a power to dissolve. Now I told you in the yesterday's class, unless and until the chief minister goes and tells to or informs the governor to dissolve the assembly, the governor cannot do. So it is the prime responsibility of the chief minister to take care of all these things. Then another important point here is the chief minister and the legislature. That is, all the legislature is the chief minister is a responsible person who has to who has to produce or announce all the policies in the state assembly only when the assembly is in session. When the assembly is in session, the chief minister has to introduce all the new policies, all the new developments, and also he should be a responsible person, and he should explain to each and everybody in the assembly what all developments have been taken in the state. So we can say that the chief minister is the most important person in the government, who holds the government, who takes care of the government, and also he is the person who is responsible for the working of the government, welfare of the people, decision making, everything. Now, if you see in the news also, if anything comes out, everybody will keep their pointers towards the chief minister only, that what is the chief minister doing? Where is the chief minister? What is the decision which is being taken by the chief minister? So the chief minister, we can say, is a very, very important person in the state administration. Then the last one is relationship with the governor and the chief minister. That is, the chief minister should have a cordial relationship with the governor. Now, what do you mean by cordial relationship? Cordial relationship means a very soft, pleasant relationship with the governor, because the governor is the constitutional head. He can create rifts if any decision making is not good, or if anybody is insulting the constitution or the government, then it is the prime responsibility of the governor to question the chief minister. Hence, the chief minister should have a good cordial relationship with the governor to work smoothly in the administrative process. And there are various instances in the past where it has been witnessed that there was a cold war between the governors and the chief ministers. Presently also, if you see, the chief minister does not go and meet the governor, Tamilisai. He does not attend any public function. That is, it might be a chief minister, the Independence Day or Republic Day or any gathering at the Raj Bhavan. So it is for smooth administration, it is very important for the chief minister to have a good cordial relationship with the governor, as the governor is the agent of the central government, and he is also the representative of the president. So he acts as a responsible person. He takes care of the people in a and the chief minister has to take care of the people in a very dynamic manner and in a very patient manner, where if any lapse takes place, it is the responsibility of the chief minister only. If any council of minister does not perform well also, everybody will point the figures to the chief minister only. So we can say that the chief minister is a very, very important person in the administrative system of Telangana or Hyderabad or India, we can say, whereby the chief minister is being considered as the head of the government and head of the state administration. We can say that the chief minister is the political head and the governor is the constitutional head. And remember till now, this one only, that the governor is a constitutional head and the chief minister is the head of the government. So this is all about the chief minister and the administrative history of Telangana. Now, if you have any doubts regarding today's class, you can come up. Anything you want me to repeat or anything you want me to, any doubts regarding today's class, you can come up. We have 2 minutes. Anything you want me to? Yeah, please. Ahmed. Somebody has raised their hand. You can come up with your doubt. You can type the question in the chat box. Okay, so I think today's class is over, and once again I want to refresh. Kavita, I'll be giving you the important topics and everything after we finish our syllabus. Okay. Today, in today's class, we discussed about the administrative history of Telangana from the module 1 and the chief minister. So today we have finished module 1, and tomorrow we'll be starting the second module. Thank you.